Welcome back to Case Closed, Anime Review Episode 155. This one discussing the 1043rd episode of the anime, The Figure of Revenge. No, there is not a new chapter manga released. It's not next month. Yeah, this is another anime original episode, where it features Conan and a detective voice. No, seriously. Yeah, and the story of this one is this. And it's quite interesting to say the least. You might be thinking, okay, what's the story for this episode here? Well, we have these people at this figurine club. Yes, an actual figurine club. Who make figures. Why? They just do. And they apparently are getting close to a deadline. But of course, basically, they are interrupted by, of course, oh, we're gonna be kids coming. Okay, of course, they ring the door like, expect delivery? No, it's the kids. Yeah, apparently Mystico, he apparently lives nearby, so he was just invited to come by to see figurines. So they, of course, bring everybody except for Aihabara. Again, series writers who do these anime original episodes. Why do you keep forgetting that she's part of this group? Because apparently she's not here, and you might be thinking, is there an explanation for this? No, there is no explanation of why Aihabara is not here. She is part of this group. Why is she not here? Do not really know. It seems like, though, half the time when they write these anime original episodes, they don't remember she's part of the group a lot of the time. So, oh yeah, apparently the one member of this group who was a white guy, he apparently is not very nice to his other coworkers. Well, let's just say to his club members. And later, of course, I mentioned a woman named Yuri. They don't explain who she is toward the episode. Well, apparently she was a member of the group, but apparently she died a year prior to this episode. She apparently killed herself. Why? And, of course, basically, the guy actually admitted that he actually stole her designs. Yeah, and he basically kind of pushed her to suicide because apparently he didn't like her very much. Despite the fact she kind of was so happy to join him. I mean, you could imply here that Yuri may have had a thing for the guy, based on his or maybe a fan of his, but gee, he didn't give a damn. All he saw was the closest yen sign. I say yen sign because this is Japan. If this was set in the US, he'd be looking at the nearest dollar sign, not yen sign. So, yeah, of course, I checked out the figurines that the Mass Yaba figures that one member's made. And, of course, they bring some ice cream, check out that video. And back to the video, and, of course, Conan, who want to use the bathroom. Over here is a couple of members, the female member of the group. What are these people's names? I have to look up on here. You have Sarashi. Yeah. Akoya. Yeah, so the four people are there. Well, three basically, if you include one who, what happens to him. So we see him where he's very arrogant, and we see some obvious close plan before it happened this episode. Like, he has a regular lighter, a silver lighter, and you see him outside smoking. You also hear him on the phone with some developer who makes figures, basically probably a toy company. Who the person is, they never say. And they later on have the ice cream thing, and of course pop on a Mass Yaba movie. And then of course, while Conan was in the bathroom, here it's like they're talking about cleaning up like some spill in the studio. By the way, apparently the studio is in a regular apartment. By the way, this is a regular sized American apartment. It was the rooms, and apparently one of us convert. Apparently this is where the club meets at this rented apartment. I'd say it's rented because apparently, now, do they live there? Not no. This is not the first time I've seen. This is probably the second time I've seen the series where you have people at an apartment, very nice looking apartment. Now, from what I can tell with the apartment itself, it seems Western style. Yes, I'd say it's Western style because the door is basically very Western. The kitchen is very Western, not Japanese. Also, excuse me, they actually have the freezer as a drawer. Which, if you're curious, though, have I seen a refrigerator like that? The answer is yes. My grandparents have got a refrigerator like that. And, of course, they kept bowls of ice cream in the freezer. They'll go looking later. He finds a cell phone and a lighter in there, which we'll get to that. So, then we hear some series of explosions going off. And, of course, they try to rescue the guy who's there. And, of course, he supposedly died of smoke inhalation. Like he said, he inhaled a lot of smoke. Unknown if he died. It's kind of weird. They don't specifically say in the episode if he died. It's just that he had a lot of smoke in his body. So, they could view it as an attempted murder. So, a lot of the signs in the episode point to Marioma at Bakuzra, where he was responsible for what happened to him due to the fact he caused the explosion behind the TV. And there was also an explosion with a bottle, like several bottles involved. Yes, and yeah, it turns out that he partially had something to do with it, yes. But he was not the one who caused what happened to the guy. Nope, it was the air tube. Yeah, apparently he was trying to escape. Of course, they realized later on, though, you stop the air tube by basically trapping him in the room with the smoke. Yep, and apparently... Yeah, and they tried to have a clone from helping because they apparently really wanted to get rid of the guy. Yeah. One thing about this episode, the story-wise is fine. The problem is, it feels like this episode's pacing is going by too quickly. It's like really quickly. Yeah, this is just a really fast-paced episode. Like, stuff is resolved way too quickly. Quantifies it way too easily. And not usually actually McGuire and Takagi here. For some reason, they're not really involved in the case very much. They're just chatting with the potential suspects. And basically, we're going to have Agasa showing up. Yes, Agasa. Who apparently, Agasa was what we call Conan. Which I thought, that was interesting. Why did he call him for? Interesting question. And then, of course, he randomly shows up because apparently he's there. Why is he there? Do you here pick up the kids? And they don't say. Basically, it's revealed that the first explosion, the reason why it went off the way it did, and, of course, caused by the first guy is suspected, turns out it didn't work. Nope, it was the other thing that harmed the guy. And potentially all three are arrested. Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. As far as I can tell, this is the first time I can think of they've arrested all three potential suspects in the same episode. And then a very nice post-credits scene. Of course, they are to do admit they also inadvertently caused Yuri's suicide. Now, you're probably thinking, how did she kill herself? Did she hang herself, shoot herself, poison herself? They do not say. It's just that she committed suicide. You're part of the events of the episode. And they did show a flashback. Seems like she's a very beautiful woman at the time. And, well, then the post-credit scene is basically displaying her figures at this contest in her honor, which I thought was quite nice of them to do. And did they say these three were arrested? No, not necessarily. It's just that the episode abruptly just ends. Yeah, kind of a weak episode. Yes. I would say, story-wise, it's quite interesting to say the least, but a very weak ending. Like, wow, this ending was so weak. Like, oh, what are the people responsible for the death? Oh, no. Like, what happened? Like, all three were. I'm like, okay, not counting the one that happened last week, but here's kind of the thing. The episode that came out 2 weeks part of this episode, that one also had a weak ending to it. Oh yeah, the ending was so freaking weak. Yeah, like, oh, like someone attacked somebody, and turns out that the woman who was supposedly attacked, turns out she actually was known for doing this. Yeah, it's kind of odd. Like, writers write case closed. Can you please come with a decent ending for an episode? Because not counting the episode last week, because that episode was really good. It just seems like, though, the last two original episodes had weak endings. My gosh. Like, you might think, okay, did the episode that came out 3 weeks ago, did it have a weak ending to it? No, actually, that one didn't. No, it didn't feel a bit abrupt, per se. I would say that was still a good episode, but the last couple, like 2 out of 3, the endings have been really weak. Yes. Like, please come with a better job for next week's episode, which I hope you do. And also, next time we do these original episodes, don't forget Aihabara. She is part of the Detective Boys. Put her in the episode. Why do you keep forgetting her? This is so freaking stupid. Yes. Also, here's a good question. When's the next canon episode? Yeah, that's, well, you're like, oh, what was the one here last week? That was an adaptation of the spin-off one. Okay, then when was the last time we actually had one in the anime that wasn't that? Well, that wasn't necessarily like a remaster or whatever. I mean, the last one we had was back in January. No, that's not a joke. Like, the last time we had a canon episode, yeah, we did have a couple of these, like, Wild Police Story episodes. Fine, that's nothing wrong there. But the problem is, we haven't had one of these in about, usually sometimes basically deals within like a month or two. It's been 4 freaking months since the last canon episode. Like, here's a question. How long do we need to freaking wait for the next one? You know, that's a really good question. Because it seems like, though, we haven't had one in a little while. And if you're curious, is there chapters for another adaptation, you might ask? Well, to my knowledge, there is. There is plenty. Yes. Now, the next case, I don't think it's been released yet. No, I don't think so. I haven't seen it on there. Like, let's see. The last chapter that was released was chapter 1093. That was the last known chapter released in the series. Yeah, 1093. And you might be asking, is there enough material to do another one of these kind of episodes? The answer is yes. You see, the last chapter they adapted was chapter 1046. Last chapter released 1093. So that's like 47 chapters. And you might be asking, is that enough chapters for one of these case episodes? The answer is yes. Yes, indeed. And here's the strange thing about this. Next case that was released in the manga came out 2 years ago. Well, next they're going to be adapted anyways. And it's a 4-parter. The problem I have with the manga is, which by the way, the next chapter comes out at the start of next month, June 1st. For the last, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not since the FBI serial murder case have we had an arc that's not 3 chapters. That was back in late 2020. All the writer has done since then is these quick 3-part story arcs, and that's it. It's like he can't do more than frickin' 3. Why? Do not know why. Are they waiting for the next case to start up within a month? It's possible that might be the case. Yes. That might be, but honestly, I don't really know. Because, like I said, there is plenty of chapters. If you're calling 47 chapters not enough to do a quick story arc, TMS, that's to make this. Please do a canon episode. I mean, the next one you're going to do is the sister's birthday murder case, which was also, believe it or not, the last time anybody saw Masami Sarah in the manga. Yep. Since the arc came out, she's not been seen since. That was about 2 years ago. And you could adapt this, but nope, we have to do more anime original episodes. Why? It's because the series was off the air for like a whole freaking month? It's possible. That could be the reason why they're delaying it. But please, hopefully after the next episode, please, for the love of God, can we please have an adaptation of an arc from the manga? Or I don't know, how about do we do for 1,000 episode readaptation with basically modern stuff happening? Do that. Something will suffice, because I think people are getting tired of these original episodes having just terrible endings, just very weak endings. Please, TMS, please do it. Also, if you're going to do another one of these things, if you're including Detective Voice, don't forget Aihabara. Okay? And I'm sorry about the rant, but I didn't like the ending of this episode. It was too quick and weak. Okay, so that's the episode review. Next one's going to be Kaguya-sama Love is War. Yes, I'll be discussing the newest episode of this series. Yep. Next video. Bye.